Anyway, so we're very, very excited, Pigeons, because we're very, I don't know, it's been a long time since we've had an event in North Bay. And I
Yes.
think I think it's really important to make sure that we share as much as we can with our community. And we're so excited. We've had Alice Rose, we had Paul Mention, we had, I'm going to drag this out because it amuses me because people are at home going, put him on the damn stage.
We had Biff Naked and Logan
Right,
Stats.
right. All the local talent we had. It was
Mackenzie
wonderful.
Drive, holla.
Right. So
Yeah.
why don't you introduce our next guest?
Well, guys, special guest today. You may know him from This Hour Has 22 Minutes. Whose line is it anyway? The Improv King himself, Colin Mochrie, to the stage.
Thank you. Oh, hello.
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 Not worthy.
Oh,
I am not worthy.
of course you are. Please sit, relax.
Did you catch our story time?
Yes,
Yes.
that Tony.
Wow, he sure gets around.
Yeah. No, I think that would be a franchise to invest in. Have Tony nuts all around the world.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? It would be kind of like, you got all the working folks on the side of the road and you just
sure.
drive around and pick up the money, slap a few nuts around, you talk back.
Oh my goodness.
Let's not go down that road. Oh, we're drinking wine. Right. Very good. So, Colin,
Yes.
let's talk.
All right.
All right.
You start.
Oh, I'll start.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Let's talk about your family. You have a wonderful family.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes, I guess I could take some credit for that, in that I allowed myself to be seduced by my wife.
Oh, good for you.
So-
Bound chicka wow wow.
Yeah, and then we had a child and raised her. She started off as a boy and became a woman. So
Nice.
yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, because you talked about it, CBC documentary, I think it was, or yeah.
Yes,
Right.
I think so.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you sound on your
Oh,
cable.
look at that. I'm getting felt up.
Security.
Security.
Don't call security. He'll really come out. Have you seen that guy?
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Is everybody better now? Oh,
Yes.
good. I'm so.
So my daughter Kinley came about 3 years ago, and it's just been amazing. I was telling Lady Raven earlier, I've never used the word journey so much in my life, but it really has been a journey. And I've just learned so much about everything. And she recently had her surgery, and now she's just the happiest gal in the world.
Right, right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is awesome. She's just the loveliest person. She's very talented. She's one of those people who's at ease with children, with older people, and very empathetic and a big activist. So yeah, we're really proud of her.
Right.
All right, thanks.
All right. Thanks for coming by.
Sit your butt down, sir. I'm kidding.
Oh, my. Have at it, Raven. Lady Raven.
Colin, you're such an inspiration for those of us in the comedian world. I'm at loss of words. I'm in awe.
How much time do we have to say?
Oh, boy.
Well, now.
At some point, we may want to go home.
I feel somewhat guilty with my career in that I have been incredibly fortunate. The only thing I had that made me stand out from other people was improv, which wasn't around when I was growing up. So to have a skill that you couldn't really use at any point was difficult. And if it wasn't for Whose Line, I certainly wouldn't be sitting here. I truly don't know what I'd be doing because I have and I'm not being modest, I have no skills. I'm not really that smart, so I couldn't have done like a real job. I'm very weak, so I couldn't do a laboring job. Maybe gigolo? Do they still have those?
Just a gigolo.
Right, they work for
Anywhere
Tony.
he goes.
I'd be out there with my sandwich board going,
Right. Right.
Tony's
well,
nuts.
somebody's got to advertise.
no.
Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of whose line is it anyway, what is your favorite episode that you ever did? There has to be one that really sticks out for you.
The weird thing about the show is, like immediately after it, I don't remember any of it because your mind is just flying by trying to come up with stuff. And there are times when, I'm flipping through channels and an episode comes up and I go, oh, and I see me, and I know it's me, but doing something I have no recollection doing. And sometimes I go, oh, missed a joke there. And really judging hard. But there was one scene that I remember almost like it happened yesterday. And it was the one with Richard Simmons. Because it was so much fun and he was so great in it. And there was a point in the scene where I had to wait for like 2 minutes with Richard's head bobbing at my crotch.
I remember that.
Because the audience was just laughing so hard, there was no point in saying anything. They wouldn't have heard it. So I truly think that was like one of the funniest bits that was ever on television. It really, and it holds up.
Does it?
Well, it's a man's head bobbing at your crotch. And it'll never go out of style.
Right? And it's always got to stand.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. No vitamins for me.
No vitamin D, darling.
Oh, right. Or those little blue things. We don't need that. We just need wine. Oh, I don't need any well.
Oh,
Let's
goodness.
not go there.
She's on her sixth husband.
Wow.
I think
God.
7.
No, you're on your sixth.
Oh, is it 6?
You're
let me
on your
think about that
6.
for a minute.
So you're a romantic,
Mm-hmm.
but
She's
you
a
just,
cougar now.
Well, my first couple died.
oh,
Yeah, they just couldn't keep up,
She
Well-
wore them out.
it happens.
and things just kind of fall off. One was a bit of a heavy drinker, though, at one point. Yeah, it just didn't work out.
Well.
Didn't work out. Couldn't keep up either.
It's a marathon.
It's a marathon. Anyway, so
What do
we're
they
all
call that?
good.
Sexcapades.
It was a lot of sex. Deep down, that's all what we're really about.
True.
As we drink our wine. Oh my goodness. Some folks we're just getting a question that talks about what is some of the things you hope people take away or more interactions with the trans community? Like what could be some way of kind of bridging that gap? Because you're a parent of a trans person, and this would be an ideal question for you, I think.
You would think.
Right.
Let's come up with the ideal answer.
Right.
My thing would be for people just to educate themselves. When Kinley came out, she gave us articles and sent us YouTube videos about everything, and very open in answering every question we had, and we had great discussions. And I think, most ignorance and fear most fear comes out of ignorance, and most hate comes out of ignorance. So I would say really educate yourself and make sure. There is a lot of information on the internet, but you really have to be careful what information you're getting.
Oh, you mean YouTube and Facebook's not a resource?
Not always, no. But I had tweeted something over the weekend, and I can't remember. It wasn't anything like controversial, but trolls came out, and then these two different people have tweeted and were talking about they were raised to be homophobes. Their family were racist, bigoted, transphobes, homophobes, and they both said once they left home and were in the workforce, where they were working with people from that community, they saw the error of their ways and changed and now have become allies and advocates. And I am not a big fan of humanity, but I thought that gave me hope, and that made me think, oh, people can change, and it is going out there and living life and meeting different people. I like America. I have a lot of friends there, but one of the things they have is they just close off. They just stay in their. They know nothing about Canada. And this is a gross generalization because I know many Americans who love to travel and see different cultures. But I truly believe that they should be forced during the school year for like 2 months and go to a different country and just soak everything up and see how people live and see what it's like outside of their world. I mean, the more you learn, the more your mind opens up. Am I even answering the question?
Oh, good. Just keep going.
Okay.
You're doing great.
This wine's really good.
Right. There's more.
Yeah. But I truly believe education is, and I think it should be, introduced into schools and start early, start nipping ignorance in the bud. It seems kind of, simple.
Schools. That's an interesting one. So when we had, for Ontario, anyways, I'm not sure if it was Canada. I think it was just Ontario. They had changed the school curriculum.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was actually proud because it's like, kids are getting bullied and stuff because, they're going through their questioning themselves like, well, I feel like I'm in the wrong body, that kind of thing. Kids are being bullied, but then with the new curriculum, it was kind of like opening it up for that conversation to happen. And then unfortunately, that got reversed.
Yeah.
And so now
Right.
we're backwards again, which is...
We won't blame anybody for that.
Yeah. There were a few demonstrations at Queen's Park that we were involved in, which was, it was great. It was great to get that out. But then you see the other side, and it's like, wow. They're not open to honest discussions.
No.
They just like to call you funny names.
Right.
And it's sad because it's like, I grew up as a child being bullied because, we discussed this in the first night, being born as a black child in a white family, going to a white school, and then, having to face the challenges of like, well, you're not white, I'm going to beat you up. You're not black, I'm going to beat you up. I'm like, oh, man. So like it wasn't until I moved up north where I was the only one, and then I was like, I reinvented myself. I chose to be like proud of who I am, and then I became the one that would stand up for the ones like the kids who were getting bullied and stuff like that. I was the one that would step in and be like, no, this isn't gonna happen. So it's like I kind of relate. Not in the same way with LGBT in that sense, but in a sense, I do relate to the bigotry and stuff that people go through and those challenges.
Colin, did you always know Kinley was struggling? And
No,
no.
not at all. And of course, the first, when she came out, we immediately went, so were you like just miserable the entire time? And she wasn't. She said, I really enjoyed it. It was just, there was something that wasn't right, and I didn't have the vocabulary or the knowledge to explain what it was. So, yeah, when she came out, it wasn't shocking. It was a surprise, I guess, but she's always been very open with us. Like sometimes I feel too open, as a old rigid white man. I was brought up by heavily Scottish old country folks where I had to learn about sex on the streets, which
Next to Tony.
yeah, right next to Tony's stand. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. but she was always open with us and going through whatever sexual things she was going. She was always open with us. So I was just really glad. And even though we have always been completely supportive, and the three of us are a really tight unit, she still felt nervous about coming out to us. She still felt that there was. I think she knew we weren't going to reject her, but there was still
The apprehension.
apprehension, and that not hurt, but I felt bad about that. That even though we had been incredibly supportive, there was still that apprehension. Because I get, you just don't. You can hope, I guess, that everything will be great, but I guess you don't really know, and it's such a big decision.
Right, right. I know when I came home, Mom was shocked.
Yes.
It was a little bit of a like, I kind of knew, but wow. What a way to tell us.
oh, yeah. The telling sometimes is the important thing.
Right. There's a question from one of our viewers who's talking about, as being a parent, how do you, like, what's the nutmeg of the answer here is, like, what's the best way to cope and go on this journey with your child?
Again, just learn as much about it, accept and listen to your child. I mean, she knew more about this than we did, and I felt that she was actually a good resource material because she had done all the research into it and in all the right places. So, I mean, the main thing is it's your child. So do what you do with your children. You support them and help them find their way or help make their way a little easier. And yeah, that's it. Just love them. That's your job.
It's your job.
Well, it's hard to believe that parents reject their children.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I really don't get it. When Kinley was born, I'd never felt anything like, and I adore my wife. And for those of you who know my wife, you know why, because she is an incredible woman. She's just the loveliest. But when Kinley was born and looking at her, we have 20 hours of her sleeping on video. And these were in the days where the video camera was the big. Yeah. And I don't know. And then,
That
of
doesn't
course,
seem odd at all.
No, 20 hours. And then, of course, when she's a teenager, get out of bed. There's that turn. But, and that love is never, and it's just grown throughout the year as she's developed and become a person, her own person. Yeah, I don't understand how you can just turn that off. It's very sad to me.
Right, right. And speaking of your wife,
Yes, is she here?
no, like you were on a tour together at one point, or you did some shows together. I think.
Yes,
That was her, right?
yes, we have worked together. Yeah, we work very well together. We do kind of a one couple show where we talk a bit about our lives, and we also improvise. Well, it's all improvised. Yeah, so we've been doing that. We also did. There's a series called Unique Lives, and they called us and said, we'd like you guys to do a tour. And immediately we got all Canadian because we said, what? But you've had like Oprah and Shirley MacLaine. What are we going to talk about? And this was before Kinley came out, so we didn't even have that. But we did it. And I mean, for Deb, it is perfect. Standing in front of an audience and telling stories. For me, it's my worst nightmare. I don't remember stories. I don't tell them well. When I try telling one, I can just see Deb going, oh, you missed that part. You missed the good part. You missed the good. So I just let her do all the stories because she's amazing at it and she's wonderful. So part of it, yeah, I enjoy working with her and, of course, living with her. When the pandemic happened, she said, okay, here's the thing. I know we love each other very much, but there's going to come a point when maybe we won't enjoy each other as fully as we should. And we should keep an eye out on that. And then when that happens, you'll go there and I'll go there. And then we'll
Still in the same house.
still in the same house.
Oh, good.
But then, yeah. She's, what I love about Deb is I tend to let things fester. I just keep them inside. No. It comes out and we talk about it. And I admit it's the best way, but I just can't do it. When she was going through menopause, I'm so glad she's not here. I just realized.
They call it mental pause, and we blame it on the men.
She was going through menopause, and God bless her. Whenever there's something, she's the first responder in our family. She will immediately research, find out. She decided she wasn't going to take any drugs. She was going to do it naturally. And during this period, I have never bought so many flowers in my life. I'm not joking. I had an account at the local. But she sat me down and said, I'm really trying hard and I appreciate everything you're doing. There's going to be times. And then she went, hey, remember in the second Star Wars movie when Yoda is teaching Luke and he goes into the cave and he sees Darth Vader and then he fights him and then the mask comes off and it's actually he's fought himself. I went, yeah. If you come home and I say, I'm in the cave, go somewhere else. And I thought, that is perfect. She's not going to get really pissed off at me. I would just come in, hi, hon, cave. And I would just go somewhere else. She explained it really well. And she talked me through. Menopause was tough. I mean, she had the worst part of it. Absolutely. I totally give her. But
She had the spotlight.
yeah, and totally.
And
But
you're like the one, duck.
it was interesting. I think it actually made our relationship better because I became more aware of her needs during that time, which was nice.
Well,
That's
the
great
good thing is
communicative
no matter
style.
what you said, you at least had a 4-hour drive home.
That's true.
Right. And there's flower shops all the way.
all the way down there. No, it would be perfect.
What's some of the other stuff that's kind of been that you've done over the years? I mean, we know you've done 20. This hour has 22 minutes.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah,
one
my
is-
first. I started that right after 9/11, so that was
right. Jump right into that
fun.
one.
Yeah. So I thought, oh yeah. So Mark Farrell, who's the showrunner, it was a great writing group, and of course, Mary Walsh and Kathy Jones and Greg Toomey. We came up with a way to do it. I learned so much on that show. Every Wednesday, there's a table read where everybody comes in with the sketches they've written. You read through them, then the producers figure out which ones they want. So my first one, I wanted to make a good impression. So I had like 10 sketches. And then Greg Toomey took me aside and go, no, 3 at the most. Because if you do all your stuff, they can't take them all. But once you have them out there, you can never bring them back. So I thought, so then I started just writing sketches on the plane ride from Toronto to Halifax. And those ones would always get in. I'd spend like an hour on. So I learned how to be lazy on that show while yet working all the time. I did Shakespeare about a year ago.
Really?
Yes.
What was that
Stratford
like?
Festival, or
No, it was a group called the Groundlings. They're all Stratford veterans, and they were doing King Lear. And Shauna McKenna, amazing actress, was playing King Lear, and I played the fool. So that was interesting. I've learned actors talk a lot. They really like to discuss stuff. And it's really, because improvisers, we just go out and make up crap. But they have to know, why they're doing things. And so that was interesting. I never, not once, I think, got my lines right. Just every night, we'd walk off, and Shauna McKenna would turn to me and go, "Closer." So close.
So close.
It was like, oh. I still got my laughs.
Right. It was so close. Oh,
Yeah.
next time.
Apparently, because people come to Shakespeare plays with the plays and actually kind of read to see what had been cut, and so
They care.
yeah, I probably pissed off some purists.
Or maybe you rewrote it.
I made it better.
Right?
Yeah,
Cut out all the fluff.
sure. I mean, a lot of those Shakespearean jokes, they haven't dated well.
No.
So you got to find the right face to add to them.
Right. And actually, that was, if you think about Shakespeare, they were the first to be in dress
Yeah.
scene and, the drag performers, let's call it.
Yeah, because the men were just
Yeah, women
Women,
just,
women.
we're not allowed on stage.
Right,
That's
right. The other question is that we've got is just a minute.
I realize you're getting spoken to your ear.
Downloading.
It just looks like you're having a stroke.
currently downloading.
And then you come back.
Well, that's why I'm looking this way, because I don't want people to just a minute.
It just freaked me out for a second, but then I
Like-
realized what happened. Everything's fine.
Are women still trying to speak through the glass ceiling of comedy? Or do you find that there's more involvement in diversity now? Or do you think there's still a little bit of ways to go?
I think there's still a little ways to go. Or I think there's a lot of ways to go. But I think I think there started to be more diversity, and I think with people like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and Kristen Wiig and that cast of Saturday Night Live, I think really put women in the spotlight. I think it was like one of the first times on Saturday Night Live it was really heavily accented towards the women, and it was probably their better seasons. And recently I've been working with a lot more female stand-ups, again, who are incredibly funny. And I've done the Edinburgh Festival a few times, and it really seems it seems quite diverse. In the world of improv, except for Whose Line, I think yes, it is more diverse. And it's only not on Whose Line because the producer is a misogynist. Is this just local, or is this?
Well, we discovered Friday and Saturday.
Oh, he knows. Well, we've talked about this. It was really hard for a woman to get onto Whose Line, and all of us would always talk to Dan and say, "Look, we need more women." Not that I'm, averse to playing the woman, but it would be nice to actually have a real woman there with her point of view, making the scene funny about that rather than me being the woman.
That would be tricky though, because I think I recall in Whose Line where one of you would go up behind somebody and be their hands.
Yeah.
And like if I was the woman, I'd be like, "You be slapping my bodacious tatas a lot." Like,
Yes.
Do you need a moment with
I know. I didn't know where to go with that.
Yeah.
There was a scene I did in Whose Line, and it was a party quirk scene. And my quirk was, I wasn't sure if people were the actual sex they seemed to be.
Oh God.
So I decided not to go for subtlety at all and just started grabbing people's stuff. Now, the woman who was there was Kathy Greenwood, who is a really good friend of mine. And I still, immediately after the scene, I went, "I'm so sorry." But God bless her, she went, "You went for the laugh. I get it." But still, every time I see her, I still apologize to her because, and I tried to be gentle. And as I look back on Whose Line, there's so much stuff now that I don't think we can do and probably should not be allowed to do. So it's comedy's going to be interesting for the next little
kind
while.
of pursed up there. It's kind of like, Yeah, some of us could learn that or get our filter back in place or something. I don't know. It's not as much fun though.
It's not as much fun.
No, it's nice to just say stuff.
I kind of have a request. You can say no. You're totally fine to say no.
Yep. Is it though?
Not
If I
now.
just say no,
Well, no.
no, that won't be fine. I'll say yes without even hearing.
Oh, God.
Okay, wait. Let me hear it first.
I'm curious now.
No, just like we spoke earlier, like prior to the show, and I would love to do like just like a 3 or 4 minute like improv session with you. Have somebody, like one of the tech team or somebody out there, just yell up something, and then let's go.
All right.
Good God,
All right, are we
let's
ready?
do this.
We've got an audience, sort of.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, guys.
MD,
God bless you
somebody
all.
throw me a topic.
All right, let's hear a topic. Don't all shout at once. All 5 of you. Really?
Something.
Anything?
You're killing me here.
Mortgages.
Oh no. I
That was
know
a no, Rob.
improvisers are supposed to say yes to everything.
Right.
But mortgages, insurance, and lawyers, stay away. There's my first tip for you. Also, never do a scene about bowling in heaven. Don't ask me why. It just never works.
All right. Beach party.
All right.
What else do you need? A beach?
What else do I need?
A ball?
Oh, all
Oh,
right.
wait a minute. Do you need more wine for this?
No, this should last me for the scene.
All right.
All right, beach party. All right.
I'm not participating, by the way.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, you are.
I need to
Oh.
go get my bikini.
Oh, wait, we've got wine coming
Oh, look
for
at
you.
that.
Thank
just
you,
show up.
garçon. We got him trained.
I don't have to call security this time. Oh, easy. Ooh.
We're here today with Tracy and Trixie, 2 of the most incredible beach party enthusiasts. They have started beach parties all around the world with unusual themes. And tonight they're just going to tell us some of the secrets, some of the things they do to make your beach party the best it can be. Welcome. Welcome, Trixie. Welcome, Tracy.
Hi,
Trixie?
I'm Trixie.
Oh, thank God. So you're going to be the whore.
And, well, yeah, because
Nice.
you know, like, how I like to play my beach ball.
Right.
Now,
I have
your
my own.
first big success internationally was when you had a beach party, and the theme was everyone had to dress up as sea mammals. There was some trouble with the manatee costumes, as I recall. People just kept falling over, and there were 3 near drownings. But still, that got you into the newspaper, and that started the business. Isn't that right?
That's actually very true, Colin. It was an amazing journey, especially when the dolphins tried to fuck everybody.
Yes.
You know, that was the most horrible experience. Because that was like, the next thing you knew, the cameras were showing up. Next thing you were charging $1.99 a minute.
Yes. People felt that the dolphin costumes, it should have been full rather than just stopping right here.
Right.
I think that's what made people get confused as to what they were supposed to do with those noses.
Right. And you can get a premium membership for that dolphin thing through Pornhub.
Oh, and just so you know, the phrase dolphin thing has been copyrighted and belongs to you, isn't that right?
Trademarked and saved.
All right. Now, what kind of upcoming beach parties do you have going on now? I hear you have an exotic one in Saudi Arabia.
That's a come as you are one, Colin.
Oh, is it? All right. Interesting. Now, what's the most expensive one you've ever put on?
Oh, Pigeon. What was the last one? It was Jesus Christ. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, right. You did the New Testament beach party.
That was the one.
Yeah.
That was it.
Oh, that was amazing. You had a Last Supper with over 1,500 disciples.
Right. The problem was the Catholic priests and the altar boys.
Well,
Yeah, that just did not go well.
no, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But it did seem like a lot of fun, and people were very relaxed in their cloths. I'm not quite sure what the technical...
Happy endings.
There were happy endings?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Everybody was happy at the end.
So your beach parties are for, let's say, a specific age group?
No.
Oh, it's for
Oh
everyone.
no, I think we do the plus 19 thing usually.
Well, yes, you must be.
You
That-
do-
it was actually kind of that Catholic thing that kind of got in the way.
Yeah.
Kind of slowed us down. We had to kind of revamp that. Just a
Have you
little bit.
ever done one for maybe a younger audience? Because, a lot of parents for birthdays and things like that would like to have maybe a special beach experience. Have you ever?
Yeah, but that would involve us liking children. and
That
that's
would
kind of a
involve me having to
problem.
wear clothes.
Oh, you
Oh,
like
so you do most of these parties naked?
Well, or close to it. It's a beach party.
I know, but usually on beaches there are some clothing.
There's clothing, but honey, you can't hide this. I'm just saying.
You can't hide this either. Get in the. Get in the.
Now, of course, there has been recent controversy.
Always is.
That goes without saying. Your last
always
beach
is.
party, which somehow you did something that caused the actual beach to catch on fire. Something that has never been seen ever.
Well, Tony came with his nuts.
Uh-huh.
And we were like trying to warm up his nuts. And we were rubbing a couple of sticks together. Do you want to take that?
I thought it was the submarine racing. And there was like a leaking gas tank.
No. Goddamn security. Where is security? Everybody keeps touching me. Like, what the heck is going on? Oh, my. Oh, sorry. Lower. Are we good? Thank you.
Aren't
Well,
you
there we
sure
go.
that the
I'm
fire
sweating
wasn't?
and things are just rolling in places. What can I say?
Are you sure it wasn't the submarine racing and they were like out there watching and then all of a sudden everything lit up on fire? I've never seen water on
No,
fire.
I'm pretty sure it was the sticks and Tony's nuts.
Well, I think this is a good place to end this. Trixie and Tracy, thank you so much for coming and sharing some of your expertise. Do you have any final words on how to enjoy yourself at the beach?
Just play with balls.
Beach balls, big ones.
I hear you.
Yep.
I don't know. I was waiting for the theme music to come in. It's just
so
that
much.
easy.
Yeah, it's just no skill
That
needed
was
whatsoever.
not easy.
What skill was
That was
that?
awesome. Thank you so
None.
much.
Thank you.
So how did you know that comedy was your calling? Because right, you kind of talked about it at the beginning. I had no skills.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I was going to be a marine biologist.
Oh, good choice.
Yeah. And it was only because of the show Flipper. I liked the dolphin, and I thought, oh, that'd be interesting. But I was very shy, very quiet, and a friend dared me to try out for the school play. So I did, and I got my first laugh. And I remember that, and every time I remember it, I still get that little chill, and I thought, this is what I want now all the time. So I immediately got out of sciences, got into theater, and then plugged for 40 years. Became an overnight success, and here we go.
Right. Now wait a minute. We had a conversation about that a little bit earlier about you selling off your stuff to buy diapers and survive.
Yeah, when we'd moved down to L.A., where Kinley was born, because Deb had written a show with her writing partner at the time, Linda Cash. And we went down there. Deb was 8 months pregnant. She was writing, producing, and co-starring in the show. Then she gave birth, went back to work 10 days later. I couldn't work because I didn't have papers or a green card, so I was basically with Kinley in the studio all day, taking care of her. And they're I loved it, but they're kind of useless at 1 month. There's really not much you can do. It's like just
when
watch their
everybody says,
skull
"Oh,
harden.
isn't my baby cute?" Sure.
Yeah. But I loved her. So they did 67 episodes in 4 months, and then it got canceled. And we decided, why don't we stay down here and see what...
67?
Yeah, she worked way too hard. And then there was a recession. It was during the Rodney King beatings, the OJ. The LA was just tense. And we couldn't get any work. So we were destitute. We were selling all our CDs so we could get diapers and food for Kinley. And it got to the point where I couldn't tell Deb which ones I, w- I was selling because some of them had, like, I would go, Joni Mitchell? No, no. And I go, Kinley.
Does she really need to eat?
Yeah. So we had to, yeah. So every time, like I remember just before she gave birth, I didn't have a driver's license, so I couldn't drive. I was fairly useless at that point. So Deb was driving, and Neil Young came on the radio, and she had to pull over, and she cried for like 10 minutes. She didn't like Los Angeles at all.
No, no.
So that was a tough time. That was the closest we had ever come to being homeless. It felt like we were always one day away from that happening. And then we came back to Canada, where we felt safe and loved. Stayed with Deb's parents for a year.
It's kind of like living in mom's basement, right?
Yeah. No, they were, thank God for them. They were lovely. And just started the slow build up again.
I have learned, though, that if you tell people you're living in mom's basement, it's not usually a really big thing for dating.
Really?
Yeah, it seems to cause an issue.
I guess it depends on who your mom is.
Well, I mean, if she was mom to Charles Manson, it might be a problem, but,
Yeah.
Just regular moms, I don't think is an issue. Right? I hope. Anyway.
No.
So what was the moment that you knew you were going to be okay, though? People they don't see all that stuff everybody goes through. They just see the after. They see they don't see any of this, selling Joni Mitchell CDs.
No.
They just...
I'm not sure. I guess maybe the third season of Whose Line.
It took 3 seasons.
Well, because you never... the show started in Britain, and I would go over there for 6 weeks. We'd shoot on the weekends. They would throw an incredible amount of per diem at us. We had the week off to kind of explore London and around. And then I'd come back to Canada to nothing, to maybe a commercial here and there. And then when it went to America, I thought, oh, this could be it. But still, improv wasn't really known. So, I wasn't really sure. And Hollywood is such a weird place. Before they showed the first season, there was this big event in Pasadena where all the shows, show up and parade the new stars. And I was in the lobby, and I saw, and everybody has a handler. There's always someone with them taking them places. And I saw the producer, Dan. So I went up to say hi, and his handler stood between us with his back to me and said to Dan, "Is this guy important?" And
nice.
I thought, oh, geez, I don't know if I want this.
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't the third year. I thought, oh, okay, I think this will be good. And then they changed our time slot to put us up against Friends and Survivor.
Did you survive?
Yeah, because the show is so cheap. Even though we got creamed in the ratings every, the total show cost less than one friend. Probably Joey.
Probably Joey.
Yeah.
He was on the lower end.
It was like, yeah, it was 4 guys on stools.
Right.
Phoebe singing about Stinky Cat.
Well, there is a question from one of our viewers that they wanted to know if you found the one in Britain better or the American version. No pressure there. If you want to get called back.
It was pretty much the same production company, and a lot of the same cast. The thing about Britain was there was no censorship at all. You could do or say anything. And when you have that freedom, you don't really take advantage of it. Not all the time.
You're not stressed the same way.
Yeah.
As
So,
restricted.
they were doing things like unspeakable things to the Queen.
It's the internet. Don't worry.
So, so that was great. And then when it came to America, they had a censor in the booth because usually they get the scripts and they can look through and say no, no. But because there was no script, there was a censor. So our first season, I'm doing a scene with Greg Proops, who I'm supposed to be in love with. So I kissed him on the lips. And then this voice came out of nowhere and said, "Can you make something else up?" And in the previous scene, I killed 3 women and thrown them out a window. Nothing. And then what happened was Drew Carey, who was the host, has a real button about censorship. So the next 10 minutes was unusable as he introduces motherfucking sound effects. Or so they came to this agreement where the censor would let the show go, and then at the end, the producer and the censor would hash it out and work out whatever. One of the best, this is my favorite Whose Line backstage moment. The producer came up after one meeting with the censor and said, Colin, we lost 2 pussies, but we got a penis." I went, oh. Sweet. I love this business. So, and the weird thing is we never really knew where the line was because they would let some things through that I thought there's no way. And then they bleeped Ryan saying hand because it was, I guess, a masturbation reference. But when they bleeped out hand, your mind went to a million different places that were much worse than what he said. And we had the NBC, when it came back, the censor came up and said, there's basically 3 rules. You can't, you can have maybe one or 2 dams, but nothing worse than that. If you're going to play old, you can't shake. And you can't be slutty, but you can be coquettish. Yeah, those were the rules handed down from the 18th century network executives. So I played, I think my next scene I played an epileptic prostitute who was 80 and
Who worked for Tony.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's weird.
Viewers just asking us if you you saw the stroke, right? Right. If you still stay in touch with anybody from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah, Brad Sherwood and I have been touring for 18 years, so I just saw him last night. Ryan is my oldest friend on the show. We grew up together in Vancouver, so I've known him for over 40 years. He is not, he's one step above Amish. He doesn't understand technology. He, for the longest time, didn't have an email or a computer. I had to friend his daughter on Facebook to get a message to him because he got really paranoid at one point and just started changing his cell phone number every week. So I was way behind. And I went, hey, honey, we met. It's Uncle Colin. Can you tell? And then once Trump got elected, he got a computer, got on Twitter, and now just tweets anti-Trump stuff all the time.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, it's been cool. And then we've actually done a couple of FaceTimes and Zooms together. Wayne had a new show that I guest starred on. Greg, I see a couple of times a year. Greg, Brad and I did a tour 2 years ago to Australia and New Zealand, which was a lot of fun. So everybody, it's actually a great group. It's so rare not to find a dick, and unless it's me. Crap.
It kind of depends on the room you're in,
Yeah.
right?
Geez, I didn't even think of that. It probably is me.
Right.
Oh, you slapped one script girl. No, but we all get along really well, and yeah, it's a good group.
That's so awesome. I think I was going to say dicks are hard to find, but
Not really. No. They're everywhere you look.
Everywhere. They're everywhere. They're always like in your face. You got to knock them away. Like, it's just terrible. Oh, my God. Well, maybe I don't. You want to take that one? Mouth is full. No problem. I'll take it. Right, you can go.
No, is it my turn?
It's your turn to take it. Right. Well, Colin, I don't know how we can thank you. I mean, you've been a true inspiration as a parent, and I think that's amazing. I think the fact that you came up here, and I remember when North Bay asked you, you were very quick.
Oh,
to say yes.
I gotta say, part of it was just to get out of the house. But I'm
Flower
always
shops are only 4 hours for the flower shops. We're good.
Yeah, it was my honor. I'm always glad to be a part of Pride, and any way to get the word out. And, I would say aim bigger next year. I could probably get you Wayne Brady,
Oh, jeez.
or at the very least, a Wayne Brady impersonator.
Right. Oh, good. Maybe we can get Ryan off that computer for a little
Oh, you'll
while.
never get Ryan. That means he has to fly. He can't fly.
Why is that?
He's a pussy. He developed this fear. There was one time he was on a plane. He was going somewhere. He was in Seattle. Oh, he was going to Seattle because that's where he lived. He sat in the plane. He goes, no. Got up, left, bought a Winnebago, and drove home.
So what you're saying is we should ask him now.
Yeah. People always ask, when we go back, we'll do a scene and then we walk back to our seats. People, for some reason, say, so what do you guys say to each other? And it's like, I don't remember. There's only one conversation I ever remember as we're walking back, and this came out of nowhere. He said, hey, do you carry extra, like, sweatpants in your carry-on? I went, no. I went, why? He said, well, in case you shit yourself. I said, well, first of all, I've never, that's never occurred to me. Is that something that he goes,
Happens.
You never know.
Never.
So that's where his mindset. Right. This is a local area thing, right?
Hi, Ryan.
Oh, good. Oh, well,
The cool thing, actually, though, what I do love about technology is if we do go big or go home next time around, we can always do like how you guys perform, because you do it virtually.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
yeah, like this was so easy to begin with. Like,
So simple.
Oh, I'm
Can't
talking
believe
about,
no
I'm
one came up
talking
with this
about next
before.
year.
Right?
Jared, next year. You got it. We got a year. We're good.
a year?
For the next Pride.
Fuck. That's all I can say to that. Oh, anyway. Yeah, because it's real easy. Anyway.
No, I know.
How hard is it? Look, a couch, a table, some people with masks.
Right. A few cameras. here and
Camera
there, we're all
crew,
good.
sound crew.
You've got your sponsor.
Yeah. Well, we've had many sponsors. Actually, that was the biggest thing that made it work this year.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here.
Sure.
Oh, so keep giving so we can keep doing this every year. Bigger and better.
Right.
And we will do live commercials for your products.
It's a good thing I've got your cell number now.
You're like, wine.
You'll be changing that on the way home.
I can do what's this?
That's Rental
Rent to
City.
own.
That's where the couch and chairs came from.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you have trouble forming commitments? Not only with people, but maybe with appliances, with things around the house? Just rent. Rent until you're tired of them. So much easier than a relationship. I tell you, rentcity.ca, they're the leader in home staging and retail sales. You'll never be sad, and you can always give away the thing you don't love anymore.
Do they have rent-a-husbands?
They may.
Okay.
They have everything. Rental. City.ca.